Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, saya Laila Puspitasari Anggraini, salah satu dosen Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Pelayaran dengan mengampu mata kuliah Bahasa Inggris Maritim pada program studi Ketataalaksanaan Angkutan Laut dan Kepelabuhanan. Pada kesempatan kali ini, izinkan saya menyampaikan pernyataan diri dosen dalam unjuk kerja Tridharma Perguruan Tinggi untuk memenuhi salah satu syarat sertifikasi dosen tahun 2025. Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Pelayaran atau yang biasa dikenal dengan STIP Jakarta merupakan perguruan tinggi vokasi pada bidang pelayaran di bawah naungan Kementerian Perhubungan. Terdapat 3 program studi yaitu Nautika, Teknika, dan Ketataalaksanaan Angkutan Laut dan Kepelabuhanan atau yang biasa disingkat dengan KALK, di mana saya merupakan salah satu dosen tetap pada prodi KALK. Saya mengajar bahasa Inggris Maritim sebagai bagian dari English for Specific Purpose, yang mana pendekatan dalam pengajaran dan penggunaan bahasa Inggrisnya pada bidang pengkajian khusus sesuai dengan kebutuhan profesi siswa pada prodi KALK. Di mana pada prodi ini fokus mencetak lulusan ahli ketataalaksanaan angkutan laut dan kepelabuhanan. Mata kuliah Bahasa Inggris Maritim pada program studi KALK diberikan di setiap semesternya dari semester 1 sampai semester 8, kecuali pada semester 5 dan 6, di mana mahasiswa melaksanakan praktek darat yang biasa dikenal dengan perkuliahan kerja nyata atau magang. Pada semester ini, saya dipercaya mengampu mata kuliah Bahasa Inggris Maritim 4, di mana mata kuliah ini diperuntukkan untuk mahasiswa semester 4 program studi KALK dengan jumlah bobot 2 SKS. Dalam pengajarannya, tentunya saya menyampaikan materi bahasa Inggris berdasarkan capaian pembelajaran keterampilan khusus bahasa Inggris dengan konteks maritim bidang angkutan laut dan kepelabuhanan. Capaian pembelajaran dirancang sesuai dengan penerapan penggunaan bahasa Inggris dalam berkomunikasi bidang English for Communication and Business pada industri pelayaran, baik itu perusahaan-perusahaan pelayaran maupun langsung pada kegiatan operasional di pelabuhan, yaitu mahasiswa mampu berkomunikasi dan menguasai teknik-teknik komunikasi, baik itu lisan maupun tulisan, bahasa Inggris dalam konteks keseharian atau umum, akademis, dan profesi pada industri maritim. Selaras dengan pembelajaran yang disampaikan pada setiap pertemuannya antara lain, kemampuan menerapkan bahasa Inggris sederhana berdasarkan company and business culture, kemampuan berkomunikasi dalam menyampaikan business strategy and innovation, kemampuan mengidentifikasi proses logistik, production, marketing, and quality standards, serta kemampuan membangun management style and team building to achieve the perfection in shipping business. Berdasarkan topik-topik yang diberikan tersebut, tentunya saya juga menyisipkan language focus sebagai penguatan peningkatan keterampilan bahasa Inggris siswa, yaitu dengan menerapkan 4 skill dasar antara lain speaking, writing, reading, dan juga listening pada pembelajaran yang dilakukan dengan metode pembelajaran berbasis keterampilan di mana pemfokusan pada pengembangan keterampilan seperti berpikir kritis, komunikasi, dan kerjasama selama proses pembelajaran. Saya membangun berpikir kritis siswa dengan memberikan pertanyaan umum sesuai dengan topik yang diberikan pada sesi pembuka perkuliahan di setiap pertemuannya. Lalu kemudian dilanjutkan dengan mengidentifikasi informasi pada sebuah artikel. Dalam hal ini, saya menggali kemampuan membaca mereka dan memahami sebuah text reading atau teks bacaan, di mana artikel tersebut saya dapatkan melalui berbagai sumber seperti buku, jurnal, atau internet. Mereka kemudian dapat bekerja sama untuk dapat menemukan informasi yang lebih detail dan menyampaikannya di kelas sebagai bahan diskusi. Penyampaian argumen dan pengetahuan dengan menggunakan bahasa Inggris Diharapkan mampu meningkatkan keterampilan berbahasa Inggris mereka atau menyampaikan argumen ide dalam bahasa Inggris dan menerapkannya pada saat berkomunikasi di perusahaan-perusahaan pelayaran asing atau di pelabuhan pada saat nanti mereka melaksanakan praktek darat di semester 5 dan 6. Pada akhir semester, penilaian diukur dengan keaktifan siswa di kelas sebesar 10%, penugasan sebesar 15%, nilai UTS sebesar 25%, dan nilai ujian akhir sebesar 50%. Setelah ini akan saya tunjukkan proses pembelajaran di kelas dengan mahasiswa dan mahasiswa semester 4 program studi Ketatalaksanaan Angkutan Laut dengan mata kuliah Bahasa Inggris Maritim 4. Demikian yang dapat saya sampaikan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you then? Fine? Sure that you are feeling fine? How about your lunch? Have you got? Okay, very good. So today we are going to discuss about English in the company and business culture. Yeah, so it's something like that you are going to have in the future in the port and shipping management class. Yeah, in the port and shipping management company. Now, in the company, if there is any multicultural workers, yeah, there are a lot of people or a lot of workers from the company, yeah, and then there are of course has differences characteristics of that people itself, yeah. So we are going to discuss about this. Now, but previously, I would like to build off your field, build off your understanding first about what is culture. Anyone? Anyone knows what is your idea, Naufal? Yeah.
Culture is a socialization or group organization. So that culture is features of everyday everyone existence.
Okay, so it's about the existency. Yeah, it is the culture, the existency of the people or a group of people or someone. Okay, very good. Any other idea maybe? What is culture? In general, of course, yeah. We haven't get in the company. In general, what culture is? Okay, Dikara.
Existence means culture is a characteristic of a group of the people and people how to live, how to do things in a group.
Good. Yeah. So you make it complete about the culture that we can try to find it as the characteristics. Yeah. Existency. It's about characteristics, and then the knowledge. So it's not about characteristic. Everyone has their own characteristic. Yeah. Every region also have their own characteristics. Yeah. Now, characteristics and knowledge of particular group of people. It should be in a group, community. Yeah, about their language, about their religion, cuisine, social habits, even music and art. So this is about the culture. Yeah. Okay. Then what about multicultural working environment? Multicultural. So this is the keywords. What multicultural? Harka. Okay, Harka.
So excuse to answer. So in my opinion, multicultural environment is some kind of group who also have a different belief,
Okay.
religion,
Okay, good.
languages, and habits. Maybe, Miss.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually the definition of the culture.
Yes.
Okay, I have shown you. But take a look at the working environment. What
Okay.
kind of group of people do you
I mean, like, if we go to one company, and also in one company, it's not always be one at one city. So maybe we can have a different people from or friends in any other city, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Harka, for your opinion. So, when you are going to have a job in a one company, yeah, and then what about your colleague? What about your partner? Yeah, they must come from a lot of origin, right? Now, this is of course, yeah, it brings about the differences of characteristics. Yeah, when we take a look at the previous one, the definition of the culture itself, it is about the characteristics, right? And then the differences in religion, cuisine, social, even music and arts, and this must have by some peoples or the communities, and then they come together in one company. So this is what we can use the meaning of the multicultural working environment. The environment, your friends, yeah, our um, our colleague, ya. Jadi teman kerja, gitu ya, our colleague, kolega, partner, our partner, ya, in the work area. Of course, in your focus is in the shipping company. Okay, so now this one, yeah, that this picture shows you about the differences of the characteristic of the people. Maybe we can only guess, yeah, by the physical appearance, yeah. By only the physical appearance, they do have the characteristics. Punya ada karakteristiknya. Dari physical appearance saja sudah terlihat, ya. What about the personality? What about habit? Their habit, of course, differs. It's just according to what they always do in their region, in their family, yeah. And it brings a variety of perspective, experience, and skills. Nah, by this community, what do you think that are some benefit of having cultural diversity? Okay, there are two. You first.
Excuse me. So basically, from what you say, the benefit of working diversity is it enhances problem solving because there is a lot of people from different region that have different characteristic. So it can enhance problem solving.
Yes, exactly. What about you, Raina?
Excuse to answer, Miss. In my opinion, the benefit of having cultural diversity at the workplace is to increase the creativity of each other. So it's like maybe when you have a project, so but you know the other or your friends cultural, so you can mix it with each other culture.
Yes, yes,
Thank you,
because
Miss.
some people come from in some countries, yeah, some places, yeah, and they have different backgrounds of their knowledge, of their skills. Of course, it brings about the innovation, yeah. It brings about more or a lot of ideas, yeah. Very good, thank you. Wait. Now this is the procedures. Yeah, it's something like the insight of different national cultures. Yeah, has the same thing in very different ways. Different cultures, then there is also different ways how to communicate. Yeah, how to make some communication. We are going to see after this about the way of communication in different culture or different people. And then comes to the strategies for dealing with diversity in the workplace. There must be any diversity. Harus ada cara bervariasi untuk tetap berkomunikasi ya, to be engaged with these different people ya in the workplace. Gimana caranya? What is the strategy? Build the cultural awareness. Dibangun tuh cultural awareness-nya ya. You must be aware with these differences. So doesn't mean that you I don't like these people because these people is blah blah blah. Yeah. You must take a look at these people has their own background. These people has their own experience, habit. That is why we have to be aware. that we are different. Then how to make a deal with this? There must be some strategies. Yeah, one of them is making a good relationship, right? Do you agree that? Yeah. And then building cultural awareness is also one way to prevent the culture shock. What is culture shock? Culture then shock. Any other have listened about this? Pernah dengar nggak? Have heard this? Sering dengar ya, culture shock. Jadi the differences between others habit, for example, and then we shock. Kok gitu sih? Nah, itu kan culture shock ya. Kok dia begitu sih gitu ya? Something like maybe, siapa di sini pernah mengalami culture shock? Ada yang pernah mengalami? Oh, Tommy, can you just retell your culture shock?
Excuse to answer, Miss. First, my culture shock is when I came to Jakarta. Yes, the first I come to Jakarta when I'm buying tea. When I'm buying some tea, yeah. I'm when I'm in Solo, Central Java. When I saying to buy tea, they give me sweet tea. But in very sweet tea, of course. Yeah, and then when I came across to Jakarta, when I'm buying some tea in another stand or booth, it's different because they are must to added some sugar. Yeah, so the first, yeah, so we must to request the sweeter.
Yeah, in Jakarta, I don't think so that it is about you have to make a request that for additional sugar. But I believe that it also impact to the quality of the water in Jakarta. Yeah, it's different of course ya within your region Solo ya. Oh ya jelas beda. Oke then. Nah ini loh ya cultural awareness, kesadarannya itu seperti apa? How to build it? How to build cultural awareness? So the first is maybe respecting differences and working together. Working together, of course, with the different characters of people. Now, in this case, it's not about different culture by countries, but also region. Now, you are in dormitory, yeah. You are together with your partner, with your roommates, yeah. Now, this can be also how you build the cultural awareness. And then understand and accept logic of other cultural frameworks. You have to be knowledgeable about this. What is the differences of these people? It is because of their habits. Kenapa sih kok anak ini begini? Kenapa sih kok teman saya satu kamar seperti ini? You have to analyze first. Ya, you have to do the analysis. Gila, berat banget ya, harus melakukan analisa dulu gitu. Ya, but rather than you just getting emotional, getting mad with your friend's attitude or behavior, for example, they have disruptive behavior, then you just automatically, spontaneously getting mad. I don't think that it is a good behavior, yeah. And then cultural differences as a unique and creative problem-solving opportunities. Likewise, Reina said that it is about problem solving. Yeah, how you deal with the problems with your friends, yeah, and then how you making a good engagement between each other. This is about the culture. Nah, culture-nya ini nggak harus didormi. In this case, you are learning. Yeah, this is the process. Yeah, when you live in dormitory, so it's something like a process for you having cultural differences in the company. Yeah, shipping company. Nah, ini language juga. We have 3 kind of imperatives. They are actually similar but different. Nah, ini communication. They are actually similar but different. What is in the similarities? The similarities is it's something like the imperative words. There is no subject. Can you find any subject? Yeah. It is about how you request, how you ask someone else, yeah, how you direct someone else. There is no subject. So this is imperative. Now it divided into three: command, request, and direction. You can take a look at the differences of the sentence. For command, perintah dong, ya kan? Nah, kalau perintah, shut the window. Nggak, siapa? Anyone. Ya, there is no subject. And then for request, almost the same, hampir sama sebetulnya. But the differences is only there is please. It's something like more soft, ya, hanya lebih halus aja, gitu ya, dibandingkan yang command. Sebenarnya perintah juga kan. Send this official letter, please. Yeah, this is a soft, yeah. And then direction also something like command, yeah. But the aim is only giving information. Ya, hanya memberikan informasi. Jadi seperti perintah tapi hanya memberikan informasi. Give information. Misalnya, prepare the cargo of shipment and then deliver to the port of the loading and then consignee collects the cargo after it arrive in the port of destination. Ya, only giving information. Who should prepare this? Anyone. Ya, so there is no subject. Yang lebih simpler, go straight ahead then turn left. Ini kan memberikan direction. Ya. Okay, we go to this language focus. Anyone please, we can guess, be there at 5. What kind of imperative is it? Command, request, or direction? Command. And then come here and sit down. Take care of the equipment, please. Nah, requestnya beda please-nya aja gitu kan. And then deposit your paycheck. Direction. Okay, deposit your paycheck now so that, ini informasi ya, you can pay your rent. Then let's not argue about this case. Command. Yeah. Command. Okay. Always slow down in a school zone and speed up after passing the school zone. Of course, it is direction. Clearly direction. Okay. Then you have to match. Fire in the galley. What should you do? Ada api di dapur kapal ya. What should you do? Get the fire extinguisher, ya. And then they are loading the fuel. What should you do? Don't smoke on the deck. Man overboard. Huh? Release the lifeboat and then emergency. The oil is leaking.
Stop the pump.
Stop the pump. Emergency.
Station.
The air is toxic. Good. Yeah. So those are the imperatives. Yeah, that's usually used on board ship on the vessel. Nah, I want you now writing. I want you now please write. Yeah, try to use your hand then. Yeah, to write. Okay, when you someone who has laptop, it's okay if you would like to type it about what is it? About cultural differences. Yeah, and then by answering these 3 questions. So do not answer by number 1, number 2 no. You make it something like a short paragraph. Okay, yeah. So do not answer by number, but just delete the numbers and then you make it something like a short paragraph. After you finish, please one of you or 2 of you come forward and then tell your writing into your friends. Okay? Okay, enjoy your writing. Okay, anyone finish and want to come forward? Okay, good. Nur, come forward.
Excuse to answer, Miss. The for For the answer to number one is the customary greetings in Japan is to bow then shake hands, while bowing is standard of greeting. But sometimes in more casual settings, a simple nod of the head can also be appropriate. And for the second answer is
You don't need answer number one or two. No, just read it all of them. Okay, so something
And-
like you tell a story.
and when eating, like lifting a bowl and avoiding placing chopstick upright in the rice is part of their culture. And Japanese people are generally indirect communicators. They are often attentive to nonverbal clues such as body language, expression, and tone of voice.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so see you next week. So it is the end of our class. Thank you for today. See you. Bye bye.